Welcome back, everybody. Please enjoy our choir as they sing Rise Up, O Church of God. And now, let's sing together as a congregation, Break Thou the Bread of Life, page 321, verses 1, 2, and 3. With you that didn't quite make the sermon today. CBS News had a story about a man in Toledo, Ohio, and he had gone off after graduating high school and made a fortune. He was a millionaire, and so he felt called to pay it back, pay it forward to current students in Toledo. So he went to the most underprivileged class and arranged that they would have a assembly. Their parents invited. The kids didn't have any idea why they were coming forward, why they were joining together in the gym. And he announced to them and their parents that if they wanted to go to college, he would pay everything. Tuition, board, books, fees, everything. Beyond that, if they had parents that wanted to go back to school, he would pay for their education also. Oh, that made me cry so much in January when they first shared that story. And then they profiled it again just the other night to report that 75% of the graduating class took him up on his offer. And they interviewed the millionaire, and he said, this is how you end systemic poverty. You go to the people, you go to their parents, you give them some grace, and you share with them resources that they might not have otherwise. I wanted to pay it forward to help these individuals make a life that they wouldn't have otherwise. And for me, that's what this communion table represents. It is God's love in bread and cup. It is his gifts of new life made, shared for us. We remember when we gather on this table. We remember the night when Jesus was betrayed. He took a loaf of bread. This is a cracker. He broke it. He said, this is my body. It's broken for you. Take and eat in remembrance of me. Then after supper, he took the cup, saying, this cup represents the new covenant of my blood poured out for you. For as often as we drink this bread, eat this bread, and drink this cup, we declare the Lord's death. We declare his undying gifts till he comes again. Let's share this holy moment together. So I know that our communion looks different than normal. For those of you who don't know, we usually have ushers or deacons that pass the tray of the communion elements and then pass the offering plate. And it's a private moment in that way. Both offering and communion are more private and done in your seat. And yet there's something wonderful and public about the way we're doing it now. We come forward and take individual communion cups that don't feel as holy somehow. But we also come bearing our gifts, bringing your offering. And you can probably hear it on the video as Shelly plays. The coins hitting the communion tray. And for me, that is the sound of paying it forward. right? We're talking about God's ministry in action, and that's what our offering does. It helps our church continue its mission to be God's hands and feet in the world. And so I thank you for continuing to bring your gifts, bring your energy, your talent, your treasure. I pray that we put it to godly use. Now, before we close our worship today, we have one more song we're going to sing. On page 434,
verses 1, 2, and 3.
Sorry, God be with you till we meet again, verses 1, 2, and 3. Until we meet again. God, we ask for your blessings upon this week, upon the way our world is unfolding, God. Our plans are coming apart, and yet through it all, we know your presence with us. Help us share this surety, this knowledge with others. Let your presence guide our lives, guide our days, and make us stronger people because of it. And all God's people said, Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.